volunteers rescue food about to be discarded and take it to a soup kitchen or other social service providers. Now, others have sought policy changes, okay, like the local leaders asking for help from the EPA. Now, some try to use technology to improve how food is actually stored and actually how it's distributed. But one type of program that has both reduced food waste and increased food security is actually called gleaning. Now, similar to food rescue programs, gleaning aims to redirect excess food from some of the major sources of food waste and food loss by going to farms, farmers markets, restaurants, grocery stores, and other sources and move the excess food directly to the food pantries. Now, a program at the University of Kentucky showed that a small group of dedicated people can make an impact on local food security, okay? And actually, the USDA even has a gleaning toolkit that explains what gleaning is and how to start an actual program. Now, the difficulty with modern gleaning programs lies deeper than simply getting excess food to where it is most needed. First, these organizations must find donors, okay? And then they must find a pantry that will accept the fresh food. Now, secondly, gleaning only provides food during the harvest season, okay? But people must eat, of course, year round. Okay, so in 2020, there were over 160 gleaning organizations in the U.S. I didn't know that. Okay, 5 large volunteer groups had over 14,000 volunteers, putting in nearly, get this, 50,000 hours. 50,000 hours to glean, package, and distribute food. And yet the reports from the EPA and the USDA show that even with this massive effort, the problem has not been solved. Now, the same God credited for the U.S. abundance in the song America the Beautiful has also set up gleaning as a way to feed the poor. The Bible has many practical instructions that deal with food waste and food insecurity. And where can this be found? In Leviticus 19, okay? It explains how this worked. And when you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not wholly reap the corners of your field, neither shall you gather the gleanings of your harvest. And you shall not glean your vineyard, neither shall you gather every grape of your vineyard. You shall leave them for the poor and stranger. I am the Lord your God, found at Leviticus 19 verses 9 and 10. Now, farmers in ancient Israel, okay, sowed these areas just like the rest of the field, but they went unharvested, meaning left for the poor and the stranger in the land. Okay, now I touched on this in an episode in which I talked about what's loyal love, okay? And it was regarding the biblical characters of Naomi and Ruth. And at some point in their story, it talked about that gleaning, okay? All right, so on top of this, during harvest, any produce not gathered by the farmer on the first pass was commanded to be left behind for the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow. And this account is found at Deuteronomy 24 verses 19 through 21. Now this included grain, olives, grapes, and other produce. Okay, now through these commands, God generously made provision for those who fell on hard times, but he required them to work for it. Okay, they had to put in the effort to go into the field and glean what was left for them. Now also, people were permitted to eat food from any field they passed through. Now look at that. There's a reference at Deuteronomy 23, 24, and 25. Travelers did not need to worry about carrying enough food for their journey or being famished next to a field full of delicious fruits and vegetables. They can eat as much as they